This video is going to go over solving fractional equations. When you solve a fractional equation, some of you are used to calling these rational equations, which is true when there is an x in the denominator. Anytime that you have a fractional equation, you want to get rid of the denominator. And you do that by multiplying all terms by the greatest common denominator to eliminate the denominators. This will get rid of the fractions. Your first step when you see a fractional equation is to get rid of the denominator. It'll make it easier to solve. The second step, you just solve whatever resulting equation you have. It might be linear, it might be quadratic. You just solve whatever you see. The third step, check for extraneous solutions. These are sometimes referred to as gaining roots. Sometimes you'll gain solutions and you need to make sure you check to take them out. We'll talk about how to do that. And then you state your answer, just like any equation. So for this first one, I have x in my denominator, so that's going to be part of my greatest common denominator. It's going to be x. In this I have x plus 2, so I'm going to have to multiply everything by x plus 2. And right now this is 2 over 1. That doesn't affect my greatest common denominator, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. So what I need to do is I need to multiply 3 over x plus 5 over x plus 2. I need to multiply this side by my greatest common denominator, which is x times x plus 2 over 1. I'm going to multiply this times every term, and I'm going to multiply this by x times x plus 2. And that's over 1 and over 1, just to make sure that you know it's all over 1. When you multiply this term times this term, the x's are going to cancel off, and so all you have left is 3 times x plus 2. It's a good idea to always write your constants in front of any term you're multiplying. Then you have x times x plus 2 times this term. In this case, the x plus 2 is going to cancel, but you still have the 5 times x, so I'm going to say plus 5 times x equals, in this case, nothing is in the denominator, so nothing will cancel here. So you're left with 2x times x plus 2. So we did our first step. At the end of the first step, there's no denominators, so we know that we're doing good so far. The second step is solve the resulting equation. So I'm going to distribute this all the way across to kind of see what equation I have. And when I say 2x times x, I get 2x squared. Now I know it's a quadratic, so I'm going to have to solve it either by completing the square, factoring, using the quadratic formula. Somehow I'm going to have to solve this quadratic. And then I have 2x times 2, so that will be plus 4x. Now I have to gather all my terms on one side. Since this term is positive, I'm going to try to get everything over on that side. So I have 8x plus 6 equals 2x squared plus 4x. Now I'm going to subtract the 8x and the 6. So I have 2x squared minus 4x minus 6. Now from here you just have to solve it. You could use the quadratic formula, you could complete the square. I'm going to try to factor it. And I'm going to divide everything by 2. Divide all my terms by 2. And so I still get 0 equals x squared minus 2x minus 3. And this factors pretty simply, so I'm going to say x minus 3 times x plus 1. And using the zero product property, I get x minus 3 equals 0, x plus 1 equals 0, so x equals 3, and x equals negative 1. Now, before I say these are my answers, we have to make sure that we do the third step, which is we check for extraneous solutions. If I have x equals 3, okay, I have to check back to make sure that that's okay. I have 3 and 3 plus 2, that works because you can't divide by 0. If I put in a negative 1, which is my other answer, negative 1 is okay. Negative 1 plus 2. None of those result in me dividing by 0, so they are both solutions. And you just box it in to say that's my answer.